See that screen doesn't come up, man. The little countdown.
Oh no, there is no screen. It's just me.
Oh, gotcha. All right, fellas. Welcome back to another segment of BAR 2021 managers interviews for the season here. Today, joining us, we have the William Wallaces, managed by Adam Mitchell and Ronald.
Dang it. Sounds like a cracker.
Backer.
Backer.
Yeah, cracker in his head. I know he did.
You have to make a Mexican say that shit.
Big Ron, cheese it? No, that's not it.
There you go.
We've all had to struggle saying the Latin players' names all these years. Luis is getting his payback.
There you go. Also, guys, joining us is from the Commissioner's Corner, Anthony King today. So welcome. Thank you for the time today. I'll try not to butcher your last name, Ronald. At least I'll say not to be confused with Ron M. We know that part. Cool, guys. So as you guys know, you guys might have seen other segments. What I'll do first to kick things off is go over the questions that were initially sent out to you regarding the preseason thoughts. I'll expose your answers so all the managers know who you voted for, why you voted, and also if anything has changed after the draft, giving, those were pre-draft questions. So you can each take turns answering or adding into each other's response. Cool. Anything from you, Anthony?
Nope.
Can you tell me how to pronounce Ron's last name?
Vacker.
There you go, Vacker. There you go. I'll get that right.
Saltine, like saltines, man.
Saltine. Cool, guys. Well, with your permission, I'll get going with the first question here.
You just call me Ron too, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know what though? You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I did not say this. I big old brain fart here. Big bragging rights for you guys. 2 years in the league, 2 World Series appearances, 1 World Series title. Last World Series was lost in Game 7, down to I know it was a short, a close game. So much pride, much credit. Hope that does not happen again this year. Hope you guys don't make it until tough competitors there. So best of luck there.
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. So for first question was, if not your team, who do you see winning the BARB title? Your response to that was that you obviously see yourself as contenders, but you've noticed that if it's not going to be you, that you typically find the contenders where the pitching is at. For that, you went out with Cooperstown and Brownsville. That there were instant teams giving their pitching depth and some of the starters, that they're instant teams to compete for the title. Now, has that changed since both the regular draft and free agent draft, or still the same?
Not for me. I think it's still our preference to look at pitching first and then kind of go up the roster and then see if they have the bats and the defense to support what I already see from pitching, or maybe what Adam's noticing too. We tend to just go to those teams first. Like, what does the pitching staff look like? Can that sustain for a year? What if they lost, their second best guy, their second best arm? Do they have the other arms to fill in? What's the depth like? So we tend to start there, and those 2 teams stood out.
Gotcha. So the lack of relief in the draft from Cooperstown doesn't waive. I know Brownsville made a big acquisition with Darvish. That moved one up higher than the other.
I like to think with the bullpen stuff, it didn't really play out, the last season, because we really tried to attack a couple bullpen pieces late in the trade season. But I do think bullpen pieces tend to be easy to move. And so if a team is lacking in that area, it's not as big a deal to Adam and me. I mean, no one's going to trade. I shouldn't say nobody. It's much, much more unlikely that someone's going to trade Garrett Cole, no matter what time of year it is, or DeGrom, or put the top ace guy in there, whatever name you want to say. They're not going to be traded in August. So, but you can go get yourself a Chapman. Someone traded for Chapman last year. I know we've traded for a bullpen piece or 2. I think we got Gallegos 1 year near the end, and maybe that's not the right name, but I know we
Jansen.
We did get Jansen. Yeah, it helped. I don't know if that helped, but
Name valued only.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I just see pen pieces are easier to deal for late in the season.
Gotcha. Well, there. Hopefully, Cooperstown watches this and keeps the lead up, but no injuries occurred with him. He's short on that pin right now. So, second question was, who do you see as the season's dark horse? With that, you saw major upside in Santee City's pitching staff. Most likely that's changed after Darvish was moved. But you also saw Yuma. His lineup is looking rather daunting with the pitching staff that can be pieced together to keep him in contention, even though Carrasco's injury might hurt him there. So does that change after the draft? I would think so. With Darvish move and Carrasco both moving, how is that? Is that still your response? You still see Santa City and Yuma as dark horses, or would you say, I think it's something changed after those moves?
What do you think, Adam?
I don't know if I've studied everybody's roster enough to give like a really good answer to that. The one I stare at the most is ours, and then I stare at like the standings that Anthony sends out. That's how I just do like the most of my studying everybody's roster. Like I'll just glance over everybody's season, like what the standings are, where they're at, and then basically do like 90% of my focus on our own team.
I would say, as far as your two teams are concerned, Yuma and Santee, maybe the reasons aren't the exact same as what we listed because things have changed, like the Darvish trade. But your rosters as a whole, just it looked, maybe not with the finishing pieces on it to really push you towards, what we saw a couple other teams as being high in contention. But it's like you're just a piece or two away from really like, man, if one of you guys got a Garrett Cole or a DeGrom or something like that, like wow, that would really elevate that team to basically be right up there at the top, 2 or 3 teams. So you're just knocking on the door, both teams. I mean, especially the Yuma offense, man. That hitter group he put together, and he's holding them close. Just I know Anthony mentioned a little bit earlier when we were talking about approach. Do guys have the right approach? And the Yuma lineup has the right approach. The whole lineup does.
Gotcha. Cool. Good answers. I like Adam's answer. Basically, focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
Play your own game. And as far as the third question, which is which team do you see not living up to expectations or underperforming? You started out by saying it's not easy to repeat. You notice that Frostbite Falls had to make moves, a couple roster moves to just cost purposes. His lineup still has a fighting chance, to do a repeat. He's just a couple of big arms short, at the moment. This is before the draft. So after the draft, do you still see him as a team that could be underperforming, or do you see potential there, for other teams, or has anybody fallen behind?
My answer there would be the same. We know as well as anybody, it's hard to repeat. That's just being in the league for 2 years. I mean, it became much more challenging once people knew us a little bit and they understood what we were after. Maybe they even started to see the way we do things, and they started to put up a little block to that. In the second season, it was harder to get trades done. And I mean, in this season, even more difficult for us to get trades completed. Maybe partially because we blackballed Ron, but otherwise, yeah, it just has been more challenging. Teams are not quite as willing to work with us, and so we feel the crush. We're getting tighter and tighter. We got to really make sure our draft picks are wise, and got to make the most use of any trade opportunity we can. So yeah, we know it's hard to repeat.
Yeah, good. So you're feeling the hate? That's what you're saying?
No.
Being shown for the Wallaces.
No hate. I think people I don't know. I think we made a few really good deals early on, and people noticed, and now they kind of second guess whether they should trade with us because maybe we know something. I don't know.
That's kind of what happens with the league is, if you show that you're good, teams will rarely, come to you for a trade, right? So, like I know Chris has told me time and time again, like nobody likes to trade with him. It's never oh, hey, I want this guy for this guy. Okay, cool. It's always all right. I want this guy for this guy. Okay, why do you want him? Well, he must be valuable in some way, right? Like stuff like that. It just makes people think. But I'm assuming that that's probably what you guys are experiencing right now.
Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
I call it hating them, but
nah, we don't feel any hate. We just feel the desire to not let us win.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't somebody say that to you, Ron? Like, I don't want to make you guys better. I'm not
Yes.
trading.
Yes, we've heard
What?
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a legit trade, though. Nope, I'm not gonna make you better.
Yep.
Okay.
See, HATE.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's what the H stands for on your hat.
There you go. Oh, shit. So I gotta flip it sideways now.
Jeez.
Cool, man. Well, with that, I'll pass it over to Anthony for the commissioner's corners and the 2 questions there.
All right. So we've asked the same 2 questions to every owner for my portions of the questions. The first one, what do you see as your team's biggest strength and your team's biggest weakness, whether it, when it comes down to gameplay or team composition and stuff like that?
You want to take strength or weakness, Adam?
I'll take the strength, I guess.
All right.
I think our biggest strength is our ability to draft. I mean, between Ron and we have, I don't know, 30 years potentially worth of drafting experience. Not so much in your guys' format, but in other styles of fantasy baseball. And I don't know if anybody else in this league is even playing that style, but it's given us like a huge player knowledge base and depth of like thousands of players over that time frame. And we value those players in that format, and it kind of translates into this style of game a little bit because we got to factor in defense and stuff like that. I would think that our biggest strength is in our draft days. I don't know if we can pull back what we've done in our last 2 or 3 drafts. See the guys that we have pulled that have made it down to us because we were getting like late draft picks, and people were taking dudes out of high school and college, and we're just taking dudes that are MLB ready because we want to win right now. We're not playing around for that. Hey, in 3 years from now, this guy might be a star. Well, we're just gonna go get the guys that are really good right now and put them in the lineup now and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I know this year you guys had Alex Dickerson, you guys had Dalton Jeffries, just a couple of guys that I feel like are probably major league ready, right? Especially Dickerson, he's got a pretty hefty platoon split at the very least, so he'll definitely help you out.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on what Adam said. We see people picking, players that are 3, 4, 5 years away from, being whatever they hope they are. And we just take a guy like Mark Canha, who's just a very solid all around player. And all these people are taking players that they're just like, fingers crossed, please let this guy just be as good as Mark Canha. And literally Mark Canha is just right there. Just pick Mark Canha. I mean, I know there's an infatuation with prospects, and I don't think Adam and I quite have that bug. It's more for us like we're in win now mode, and maybe someday we won't, and we'll have to learn a hard lesson. But for now, it's not hard for us to stay in win now mode.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Very
and then
very true. That wasn't directed at me at any case, by the way, all right?
I know our philosophy is way different from most of you guys, and you guys have the longevity in the league that we can't quite relate to. But in the short term, what we notice is just take Mark Canha because that's what everybody else is hoping their 18-year-old is going to do 5 years from now. So anyway, if you want to go for for a weakness, I would say weakness is probably we're very critical of our team. Our lineup versus a right-handed pitcher, I think, could still be improved by some type of deal. I think we're like one bat short there of really feeling super competent against anyone's righty, and we don't quite have it yet. Maybe everybody else will look at our lineup against a righty and go, that looks just fine to me. But to us, I think there's just this one little gap in there.
There's definitely nothing wrong with being critical of your own team. It's in a lot of ways, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, we tried to fill that through the draft. We took Grandal, which is a big cost, but Grandal helps us a little bit versus a righty. We took Dickerson, like you mentioned. I mean, his splits is exactly what we were looking for to help us. We also we took the what's the little draft you guys do after the draft?
Free agent draft.
Free agent draft. We took Cole Calhoun, kind of the same concept, right? I mean, he's not healthier at the moment, but we've tried to fill that hole. We just feel like we're still just short.
All right. And then the second question that we've got for you guys is, if you were an MLB player right now, what player, past or present, would you feel like would closely resemble the game that you would play or want to play?
Adam, you want to go first?
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I played a lot of baseball when I was young. I was like on travel teams and baseball teams. I played a little in high school. I was always like a second baseman, center fielder. So I'd probably be in today's game like a utility guy, maybe like Chris Taylor or McNeil type contact hitter. I'm not that big, so I probably wouldn't be hitting for his power like some of those dudes are, but I felt like I was like a good on base guy and could play like any position, infield or outfield. Somebody like that.
All right.
I think I'll choose a pass player. For me, as a player growing up, I was a pitcher usually. I wasn't a great hitter, so I could defend pretty well as a center fielder, but the bat wasn't strong enough to play in a lineup for high schoal. So I was probably like our third best pitcher kind of all the way through, so I was never the ace, never even the number 2 guy, but I got enough innings, to be out there. And I always thought my game would be kind of like Greg Maddux. And I also like that he's the professor. I like that intelligent aspect to him. I like the mental component he brought to the mound, just the way he had to attack hitters and he had to be so fine with everything he did. I think I like that concept both as a player, if I was on the field, and I also like that concept in what we do for this style of baseball or fantasy baseball. I like taking that professor-like approach to everything and really break the data down and have a solid plan kind of idea. So I think it fits in multiple different ways.
It's definitely interesting seeing everybody's answers to these questions because, we've got answers all over the place, right? You've got position players, you got pitchers, and this one in particular, right? It's not always the guy that you want to comp yourself to, like who's got, the big fastball or he hits for tons of power and stuff, right? It's cool to see guys comp themselves to Chris Taylor. It's cool to see, or for all these different reasons, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a fun, interesting question. I'm glad we have this question, Luis, because it's fun.
It unveils their managing style somewhat a little bit.
You gotta have flexibility.
Yeah.
True.
Cool. All right, and then that's it for me. So back to Luis for the final question here, and then we're gonna wrap up.
Yes, sir. So we got a surprise question for you guys. Both of you guys will take a turn at answering this. I'm gonna need Anthony's help with sharing his screen so you guys can check this out. And so these questions, obviously, you don't get to prepare for. It's kind of answer on the spot. But based on your current answer, I think you guys will do just fine with this. So are you guys able to see the screen here?
Yep.
Yeah, most of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys might have ran across this. Might have already kind of messed with it. Might have seen it on the MLB site here. So you got $15 total budget to build yourself an infield. As you can see, you go down the line of catchers, first base, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman. You just got to tattle up, no more than $15 spent to create your infield here. So what will be we'll start off with Ron, since that's what I see on the screen here. Who would you go with here?
Okay. Wow. Let's work backwards. I'm going to take Jung for $1.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get me up into Wander Franco for $5.
Yep.
All right, so that's $6 down.
I'm going to go down to Brujan for $3. We love Brujan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What does that put me at? $8, $9?
$9.
$9. So we got $6 more to spend, Adam.
Oh no, Adam's gonna answer on his own.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna get over to. Oh man, let's go. Wow, great question. We're gonna go with Vaughn, and then we're gonna go with Ruiz.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Vaughn was my $1 keeper, and the leader was Ron.
I like it.
All right. And Adam, do you have the exact same answer there?
Yeah, I was going like row by row. I was like, I'll take this guy, and he called him. I'll take that guy.
Lockstep,
now
man.
we
Lockstep.
you guys manage together.
I'll tell you guys, listen, this is brutal because Adam and I prepare a lot for this. Like he even comes to my house every February because there's a training down here, right? We spend the whole week talking baseball and my wife cooks us food. It's awesome.
The winter meetings.
Yeah, we call it the winter meetings. It's pretty cool. So like But Adam knows me so well, and I know him so well. By the time we get to our draft, we do for our other league. It's a 17-man auction league. Literally, man, Adam and I are just going head to head, just throwing out bids,
All the same
racking
guys.
it up. It's like, oh man, it's so frustrating.
We
We're
also
the
do
only guys bidding.
We're just bidding each other up. He stole Franmil Reyes and Jorge Soler from me this year.
Yeah, for like $5 more than I had to spend on either one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then I gave him up. Now he's trying to trade him to me.
Luis, I'll tell you what, the criminal thing on that list is that Francisco Alvarez is worth $2. That's the criminal one. That's the criminal price there.
That's going with what Ron and Adam are saying. You know, you're still quite a ways away, and he's a catcher.
He's so damn good, man.
He's good, but he's not there on the show yet, right? So you can't count him in yet.
That's true.
How do you guys feel about Brujan? Like Adam and I are like, we love Brujan. Brujan's our guy.
I love that guy. You know, he's very strong, right? He's a very strong player, despite the fact that he doesn't hit for a lot of power. But
Can you throw that list back up?
oh yeah. Here, let me grab that. But yeah, so Brujan in particular for me is I think he's a definite, he's a really good defender. He's really fast. He can hit for contact. He hits the ball hard. He's the kind of player that I want. I've had him on my team before. He's very, very good player in my opinion.
Yeah, we definitely agree. I actually think Brujan's he's gonna arrive this season before Franco, and I think he's gonna make Franco, and I don't think the difference between the two players is as big as prospect lists would have you believe.
Fair enough. I mean, when it comes to, I think Brujan might be better defensively in terms of range than Franco is. When it comes to just Franco's hitting ability, it's absurd.
He has a major issue. Maybe he's young enough. He's going to work on it, but his launch angle is 0. So he's got that problem. So I mean, it's definitely correctable, I'm sure, for as young and talented as he is, and no doubt, I think he's going to be a star too. I just think that highly of Brujan too. Not that I'm saying Brujan's going to be equal to him. I just think Brujan's not going to look all that different from him in the early going.
Well, fair enough. I mean, Brujan is a highly rated prospect, and he's been one for a little bit, right? So I don't think that's too outlandish of a thing to say.
Very true.
All right.
That should do it, guys. Anything? Any last words?
No, that's it for me.
Usually, last words mean you're going to die soon. So no last words.
Yeah, I was like,
the video's about to die on us.
time is running
With
out.
the way all the season injuries are going so far, who knows? It's been at least one pitcher every year that dies or something, right?
Jesus, man. Let's end this call before somebody dies.
If it's not because of this, they're popping it in or something.
It seems like it always happens like between March and May, right? That's usually when those injuries happen. They don't seem like they creep up too much in season, at least not compared to those 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, no, hopefully there's no boating accidents or plane crashes.
Oh man, no more of that. That's brutal.
Let's hope that's done with.
Man, the boating accidents, brutal.
Well, thank you again for your time. The league will be looking out for your guys' responses, I'm sure. Great feedback. Anthony, like always, pleasure.
Yeah, no problem.
Until next time, we'll stay tuned, guys.
Later.
Anthony, Luis, thanks, man. Later, guys.
See you guys.